Today is January 25th, 2025. Right now I'm up on the Jenny Creek arm. This would be Jenny Creek. Kind of just walked down here a little bit. I'm still above the fence line. But I thought I'd stop right here and get a good shot from this angle before I get to the bridge. This is what it's looking right from here. I don't know if I can get a good angle from up here down to where it comes into the Klamath. So I'm going to pause it and I'll see. If not, I'll head on down to the bridge. This is kind of about the only shot I can get from up here at the road. That would be where the fish weir is. Then it goes in down that way. Sorry, I'm a bit out of breath. I just hiked back up the hillside. So that's what that whole region kind of looks like as it goes into the Klamath River. I'm going to pause it and I'm going to head down to the bridge. This is Jenny Creek. I'm at the bridge. You can definitely tell that the water flow is decreasing. Where it normally comes through pretty good that way is trickling through now. You can still see it's cold. There is some ice. There's actually some ice right there too. But this is what Jenny Creek is looking like right now. That would be Up Creek. Bend over just a little bit. This is what it's looking like on this side. I'm gonna go ahead and go over to the other side. This side looks different too. Looks like they got the fence back up. It's actually pretty clear. You can see down in there. You can tell that there's a little, I don't know if you can really see, I can see it from my eyes perspective, but there's a little lip right there on that patch, that concrete patch right there. The water's really clear today. This is where it was flowing. You can see where it was during the storm 3 weeks ago. It's definitely a lot clearer than it was, like I said, 3 weeks ago. You can kind of see down there when they did the restoration project, they kind of moved the creek over that direction and down that way. You can see it's kind of diverted right here, and now it's flowing more in the kind of the original path when they breached the dams. Before, when I had videos, it kind of cut through this area right here and curved back and forth. So when they came in February, March, they moved the creek that direction when it used to go that direction. Just for clarification, just so everybody understands what I'm talking about. So this is what it's looking like today. Definitely a lot less water flow than there was 3 weeks ago. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and start walking down the road some. is what it's looking kind of like down here. No, it's not the best view. Kind of looking through the trees. I'm gonna pause it and walk on down. This is another perspective, kind of looking into the sun. I don't know if you can tell, it's not really going much down that channel anymore where they moved it. There's a little bit of a trickle there. But before, it used to kind of cut through that direction, like through there. And then now down on that direction is the way it goes to the Klamath River. So I'm gonna pause it. And for those of you unfamiliar, over here is where the other dry hydrant is. I'm not sure what they're doing over here. Walking down through. But this is where the other dry hydrant is over here next to Jenny Creek. I'll pause it. But this is the dry hydrant. To get to it, it's actually up on the road. It looks like they must be going to be doing some more through here. Goes up that way, and there's a gate that's right there to get through. But while I'm here, I'm right next to Jenny Creek. I'll go down this way. I'll pause it. And this will be Jenny Creek up above the bridge. It's flowing pretty clear. I'll go up just a little bit farther. This is up the creek just a little bit. Step down in here, but it's pretty clear. That's where it comes from. And I do know when I was up here, and I think it was November, I did see a couple salmon up in here spawning. Down there would be right there is where the water used to flow into that like frozen spot that I have earlier. But this is a look at Jenny Creek above the bridge. So I'm gonna go ahead and pause it and head back to the rest of Jenny Creek. And this is something new since the last time I was up here. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but I'll pause it. So it comes all along this area. Right over here is Jenny Creek. So this is what it's looking like from over here. I'm assuming that this was probably for the rains that we had to stop it flowing down. I don't know if they're going to come in later and build. Kind of looks like they might be bringing in a little bit of gravel here. But this is what Jenny Creek is looking like right now. Way down there. That's where it flows into the Klamath River. You can kind of see the fish weir down there. This is what the whole area looks like. See all the dirt over there. It's looking up towards the bridge. I'll go down on those rocks in a minute. But in the original preach, when they breached the dams. Gosh, it's hard to believe it's been a year ago. Today is the 25th. It's been a year. Crazy. Over a year. But originally, when Jenny Creek came in, it cut more that direction over there. Kind of like almost where you see those rocks kind of over in that direction. It kind of cut that way, and then it kind of meandered its way through here until it made its way on down. It's kind of hard to explain unless you go back and look at those original pictures I did from like February of last year. But that's what it's looking like from here. I'm going to pause it and I'm going to drive down a little bit. Like so you can see what's going on here. I'm not quite sure what I would call rumble strips, but those strips, I don't know exactly what they're for. But there's a set on either side, and there's a set going in to the gate down into Jenny Creek. So I'm gonna pause it. Actually, from right here, I got a pretty good shot of the bridge the farther I walk down. So this is kind of what it's looking like up underneath the bridge. I really wish I could get down in there and see what that concrete piece was that I saw underneath. Alright, I'm going to give you a big pan of this area, then I'm going to pause it and drive down a little bit. Okay, so hopefully this is a little bit better of a perspective. This is kind of what it's looking like. You can see this little drainage where they moved Jenny Creek 2. There really isn't anything in there. It looks like the water that's in there is frozen. Can't really see any movement. Some there's slight. Might be a little bit. Let's see if I can get around this tree a little bit. Sorry, probably a little. So we can see up into underneath the bridge. Oop, sorry, zoomed the wrong way. So that's what it's looking like up underneath the bridge. I'll zoom out so you can kind of see this whole area. I'll move. Then I'll zoom back in a second. This is what it's looking like today. You can see those two splits are still flowing decently. Although when the salmon came up and spawned, that part was not open. It was this section right here was the only creek, I guess you could say, the only arm, braid, whatever you want to call it. Those two over there pretty much formed themselves after the rainstorms that we had in December and January. So I'll zoom in a little bit. That's what it's looking like heading on down. So that would be where the fish were. You can see the Klamath River flowing west. It's the area where it meets the Klamath River. So it kind of gives you an idea what this area looks like. I'm gonna pause it. So you can see it really good from this angle. There's really no water flowing. Well, very little flowing in that part of the creek bed. Like I said, that's the one that they moved during the restoration project. That's where they moved it to. That would be up the bridge. Sorry, I'm shaky. I'm trying to block the speakers from the wind. But you can see what it's looking like upstream. You can kind of see where it went through before. Would be more that direction. Where all those rocks are that cut through there. I'll move back over in a second. I'm just trying to kind of move around up here so you can see the whole area and what it's looking like. Zoom out even more. You can see the greenery over there used to be the top of the Iron Gate Reservoir when it was still here. So you can clearly see where it was moved to. It's really not flowing anymore. It's just trickling through. And this is the way it moved during the last storms. Like I said, that was through December and January. When I was up here in February, those two weren't flowing. There was no water flow there. That was just all dirt and sediment. It flushed all that out. And that would be, like I said before, that would be the creek bed where they moved the creek to during the restoration project. So I hope that helps everybody understand what we mean, like what I mean by moving the creek when they did the restoration and all the work in this area. I'm gonna pause it and see if I can get another shot just down around the bend. So here's another look at it, just down the road, not very far. Trying to get whatever I can through the trees. And it flows on down. I'll pause it through all the trees. Sorry. There's not a very good view from this direction, but that's where it goes into the Klamath. I might go down and see if I can get another shot. But this would be Jenny Creek. All right. So that's Jenny Creek for you. Off to my next stop.